In today's video, we're going to talk about using Cypress with XPath locators. So by default, Cypress uses CSS selectors to locate elements. So this can include the element's ID or class. However, if you prefer XPath, especially for complex DOM structures, you can use an XPath plugin to enhance Cypress. XPath selectors are particularly useful when CSS selectors are insufficient or when you need to traverse complex elements with hierarchies. So in order to use XPath in Cypress, these are the steps that you need to follow. First, install Cypress XPath plugin. You need to install the Cypress XPath plugin to enable XPath support. Run the following command in your project. So npm install -d Cypress XPath, and this will install the package or plugin. After that, what you will do is you will configure it, Cypress to use XPath. So within your Cypress project or within your script, for example, in this script right here, you basically just say require Cypress XPath. And what this will do is this will import and configure this Cypress script to use XPath plugin. Now, the next thing you do is now you'll have to write test using the XPath plugin. And so after installing the plugin, you can use the command cy.xpath command to select elements using XPath. And this is an example of it. So on this page, I'll show you a few more examples using XPath. So first is you can select elements by their attribute for XPath. So here we have cy.xpath, and then we basically input the attribute of the XPath, and then we'll type this element. The next thing we do is we do cy.xpath, and then what we'll do is we'll do contains. For example, if you want to find it based off of partial text, for this you can do basically contains text welcome. So it contains the text welcome, and it should be visible. Something else you can do is you can traverse up and down the DOM structure. And so for this one, what we're basically doing is we're searching for this menu, and then after we find the menu, we're finding the option A within the menu, and then we're clicking that. Cypress also XPath also allows you to check multiple different conditions. For example, you can check if this input is both a type checkbox and also that it's already been checked already. So there's two different conditions right here. You can also work with index-based selection. So right here we use XPath to get all the different classes items with class menu item. And within that list of all those different menu items, we just select the first one and then we click it. So here are some more things about XPath. We're just going to compare XPath and CSS selectors. So in terms of readability, XPath can be harder to read, and CSS selectors are a bit more straightforward and simple. In terms of flexibility, XPath supports traversing up and down the DOM, while CSS selectors are limited to downward traversal. In terms of performance, XPath is a bit slower in some browsers, and CSS selectors are faster. In terms of use case, XPath is ideal for dynamic elements or complex paths. And then CSS selectors work well for static and simple structures. And then here are some best practices for using XPath in Cypress. The first is use CSS selectors when possible. CSS selectors are faster and easier to maintain. And then for XPath, you just use that for a complex DOM traversal. So when elements are deeply nested or require complex relationships. Be cautious with element indexes because these XPath indexes, they can change if the DOM structure is updated. And then combine XPath with assertions. Always assert that the expected element exists and is visible to avoid false positives. In this next part of the video, I'll show you how you can use XPath in your own project. So right here, I have my VS Code open, and I'm just going to create a new script under E2E. And I'm going to name this XPath. cy.jcs. Now within this script, the first thing I have to do is I have to type require Cypress XPath. And note that I already installed this plugin, so if you haven't done that already, you should go ahead and install this plugin using the command I showed you earlier. Now what I'll do is I'll start writing some code. So first I'm going to use the describe statement. Cypress test. And I'll begin with my first one. So first one will be navigate to web element text 1. And we'll do Cypress dot once uncaught exception. And if this happens, then we'll just let it continue. And then we'll do cy.visit HTTP. We'll go to this URL right here. HTTP www.admlucid.com. So this is the website that we'll be visiting. After that, we'll do cy.contains test. Do dot click. And then we'll do cy.contains web elements dot click force is true. And then now we'll basically use Cypress. So what we've done so far is we're visiting this website, and then we're basically clicking on tests, and then we're clicking on web elements even if it's not active. And then within this new page that we are now at, we'll basically look for the XPath using this. So I'm just going to copy and paste the XPath over here. And then what we'll do is we'll clear here. And then what we'll do is we'll type welcome to Cypress test. And so with this, I want to show you how you can get this XPath. So first, let me show you here. Let me show you in this browser right here. Let me show you in this browser right here how we can get the XPath. So right here, we have, for example, this button right here. You can just right click, click inspect, and then go to the button, right click, and then do copy, and then you can copy the full XPath or the partial XPath, depending on how complex your project is. Okay, so let me go back, and I just want to show you what this does if you were using CSS selectors. You would just do, if you wanted to use CSS selectors, you can just do it like this. So I have it commented out, but this does exactly the same thing. You're finding this ID test text 1. So I'm actually going to go ahead and paste a couple more tests so we can look at some other tests at action. So this one, we're basically entering text into text area. So we're going to that web page again, and then we're using the Cypress XPath to find that text area, and then we're entering some text. And then we'll do two more. So right here, we're clicking on button 1. So we're going to that web page, and then we're clicking on button 1. And then finally, in the last one, we are clicking on choose file 3. And so what we do is we go to that web page again, and then we finding this choose file 3 by their XPath right here, and then we're clicking that as well. And so let me go ahead and save this, and I will close this previous session right here, and then I'll do npx Cypress open. We'll go to E2E testing. We'll go to Chrome. And then within here, we can go to basically our Cypress test XPath right here. And then it'll basically load the XPath test. It says nothing was found at the moment. It's probably because I didn't save. So let me go back here, save that. Can't resolve XPath, Cypress in XPath. So it's saying that we're getting this error right here. And what we can do is let's make sure that we have it installed. So go ahead and terminate Go ahead and terminate this. Yes. And then what we'll do is we'll run the commands again for XPath. And so we see that it's npm install XPath right here. So I'll go ahead and paste that over, npm install Cypress XPath. So now we have it installed, and now we should try to run it again to make sure that it's runnable. So Cypress open. And now we will go back down to here, find XPath right here, and now it works. So we were able to import the plugin. So I'll go through each of these. So in the first one, we're navigating to web element text 1, and then ultimately we're typing welcome to Cypress test right here. And we're using this XPath element to locate this text area. Second one, we're entering text into the text area. So again, we're going to that web page, we're finding the element for text area, and then we're clearing and typing these items. Third one, we're clicking on button 1 right here, and it's basically locating the button 1 with this XPath, and then we're clicking it. Last one, same thing, we're locating using this, and then we're clicking on that right here. And so yeah, so this is basically how you can use XPath to find each of these elements. If you found this video helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for listening.